that hint of strawberries again. I can't help but grin as I gaze down at her. She's happy too. Hey, Hisao. If you're going to kiss me, you should probably do it soon. I think the lunch bell is about to ring. My thoughts grind to a sudden halt. I'm pretty sure my mouth is hanging open in shock. All I can imagine is a strangled, huh? This amuses me even more. You were thinking about it, weren't you? She sits up, bringing her face level with mine. I'd probably enjoy it, you know. You're a really... Well... She briefly composes herself, looking like she's about to say something important. If you hadn't figured it out by now, I think I've developed a bit of a crush on you. You're going to have to do something about that. Okay, you need to kiss her, like, right after that. But maybe that's just the Casanova in me, even though I've been single for a while. This time, her grin short-circuits several important thought processes. At some point, I turn toward her, and at another point, her arms move to around my neck. At yet another, my arms wrapped around her waist. I'll be damned if I could tell precisely when that happened. Because at that moment, there's only a voice in the back of my head yelling at me to kiss her. I look into Emi's eyes. There it is. The thing I saw yesterday on the bed. It's there again. It suddenly strikes me that she's worried that I'll reject her. What a silly worry for her to have. Boom! Yeah. You see this adorableness? Fuck yeah. Maybe it's just because I'm a huge fan of anime. Her lips taste faintly of strawberries. She leans into the kiss, and her arms tighten around the back of my head, making sure that I don't pull away. Not that there was any danger of that. There's a churning feeling in my gut. Butterflies, man. The world falls away. There's just me and her and this bench. My arms tighten, drawing her waist closer, entranced by the feel of her. I inhale her scent, my mind trying desperately to memorize everything about how she tastes, how she smells, how she feels. Damn it! The ringing of the bell snaps us back to reality. We break the kiss. Emi's cheek slightly flushed, and she seems to be catching her breath. In her defense, so am I. We stand there for a few moments, trying to wrap our heads around what we've just done. Emi is the first to break the silence. So, want to grab dinner after I'm done with practice? What a coincidence. I was about to ask you the same thing. Well, actually, I suppose I was going to be some kind of property on the weekend or something, but the thought was there, I think. Emi gives me a playful shove. Yeah, right. You were still in shock about how incredibly awesome I am at kissing. We begin to head down the stairs back to our respective classrooms. Hey, I didn't see you talking immediately afterwards either. That I didn't. See you after practice, Hisao. She leans in quickly, gives me a quick kiss in the middle of the hallway, sending me into another brief state of mental freefall. As I head into my classroom, a giggling Misha greets me, of course. Why, Hichan, you romantic, you. Did you confess on the rooftop, did you? Actually, I think it was the other way around. This sends Misha into a fresh fit of laughter. Young love is so unpredictable, isn't it? This being Misha, I suppose I should have expected her to tease me over this. I guess. Before I can respond, Matao's entered the room. Misha skips off to her seat, giggling all the way. I suspect that I'll get a lot of that sort of conversation now, especially seeing as how Emi kissed me right in the middle of the hall. But somehow, I don't care about that. For the first time since arriving here, my heart feels light. Oh, I think we're getting another one of the acts. Yeah, pretty sure. Act 3, Perspective. I can't remember what Emi's sign is. Like, everyone has one. Like, Lily's is, can you see what I see? And Shizune's is, can you hear what I hear? And time? Oh, I still got time. Yes! I'm so happy. My head's in a spin all through Matao's class. I'm going to have dinner with Emi, who wants to be my girlfriend, no less. A date. And then she kissed me. That kiss. I keep going back to it, playing it over in my mind again and again. Everything about that moment felt so right. My mind drifts off, lost in thoughts of Emi. Nakai, hello. It seems like I've drifted a bit too far. Huh? What? Egad, you've contracted some kind of amnesia. Someone get the nurse. The class chuckles at Matao's antics. Sorry, sir. Won't happen again and all that, right? Exactly. Matao brightens up considerably. Wait. Brightens considerably, not up. Well, lovely to hear. I'd hate to have my star pupils slacking off after all. I've been doing well, but I quite hardly I hardly qualify as a star pupil, I think. I'm clearly certain that this class is the sort that everyone does well in. It's just memorizing formulas. True to my word, I managed to pay attention for the rest of the class. Nakai, may I have a word with you? Oh shit. I wonder if I'm in trouble for earlier. Sure. Am I in trouble? Mattel looks genuinely confused for a moment. Beg your pardon? He tilts his head to one side and thinks for a moment. Oh, that. No, you're not in any sort of trouble. There's just a question I want to ask you. What's that? Nothing terrible. Just wondering what your plans are after graduation are. Wait, I need to reread that. I butchered it. I was just wondering what your plans for after graduation are. Oh, I said it right. Fuck you. Are you going to university? Yeah, I guess. I can't really see a reason not to. Given any thought to what you'll study? Not really, no. I figure I'll come up with something when I get there. Mattel laughs. Taking things as they come, eh? I'd argue against it, but that's how I did when I went to university. Yeah, I don't even know what I want to do when I'm in college. Well, not really. Well, besides YouTube, you know. I knew I'd go into science, I just wasn't sure which one. I ended up with physics, but could just as well have gone for astronomy or what have you. Actually, I did go for chemistry first, but there were all sorts of things. Mattel trails off and frowns slightly. It takes a minute for him to recover his train of thought. I wait patiently for him to continue. So anyway, I did a lot of physics as well, because I had an interest in that, but I wasn't sure if it was for me. So, I went back to chemistry, and here we are. Yes. He smiles at me enthusiastically, as if waiting for me to confirm that, yes, here is where we are. Somehow I get the feeling that Mattel had a plan for this conversation, but I'll be damned if I can figure it out. I'm sorry, I'm not following you. Mattel frowns, rubs his chin a bit, looking perplexed. He then snaps his fingers as if he remembers that what point of all this was. Right, yes, you. Me? Yes, you should look into studying one of the sciences. You're fantastic at it. Unless you'd rather just go into math. Mattel makes a sour face. Not a big fan of straight math. I always like the experiments more than the proofs. You're saying I should study science at a university. Mattel seems thrown off balance by my question. Well, sort of. You could also join the science club. Trouble is, there's not actually a science club, but there could be. You could even be a charter member. A founding father. Of course, you'd need to find other members. Well, only if you wanted to. I think he's trying to push something here, like, you should do it. We could just start it up with the two of us. And, I could give you things to read and we could talk about them. And I could help you get ready for university and such as well. Wait. Mattel rummages around his briefcase and tosses me a book. Read that. If it's interesting, then we can talk about it. A Brief History of Time? I don't know if I actually want to read this, but Mattel seems pretty excited about it. It sounds interesting, actually. Time is very fascinating, although very confusing. And pretty much, you can come up with any logic out of time. What's it about? Time, space-time, black holes and such. It's not that dense, just to see if that sort of thing's interesting for you. You understand. Hang around after class and we can either discuss it, or I can show you how to make explosives in the lab. He waves a hand at my quizzical expression. Joking. Sorry. Still, I've kept you here long enough for now. Think about science as a career path, Nikai. I think you'd enjoy it. I've never been told what I would enjoy. Okay, I will. Thank you for the book. I don't know if science is a really good branch to go into, though. I mean, I guess they get scientists, but, you know, those are usually like the doctors. I'll leave the classrooms and look up at the clock. Quite a chunk of time to kill until I'm out of practice. Guess I'll give this book a look. I should probably shower as well. Showering before a date's only proper, right? I head back to the dorms. I wonder where I'm supposed to meet Emmy anyway. She said after practice, but didn't say where I should find her. I guess I can just swing by the track. That's probably best anyway. If she needs a shower, I can just wait for her in her room or something. Or in the hallway, I guess. That would be better as well. I take a quick shower, remembering to take my medication once I hop out. Now, for a look at this book. Wake up with a start. Shit, what time is it? A glance at the clock reveals that I have been asleep for nearly an hour. Thank goodness. Emmy's practice should be finishing up soon. I throw on some casual clothes and head for the track. Somehow I get the feeling we won't be doing anything fancy for dinner. Emmy doesn't strike me as a fancy sort of person. Still, I suppose there's a lot I have yet to know about Emmy. Despite her newfound closeness, I still feel like I don't know her as well as I should. Have to keep checking the time. If I forget, then I'm going to be screwed getting class. Although it's my first class, I have a test and an exam, so I will. Well, the test I can make up anytime I come back, so it's not really a huge deal. The exam, I can't just do that. And I'm wondering if my school's closed, but I don't want to check because, well, yeah, this is recording time. Anyways, well, I have lots of stuff to fix. Time to fix that. To be honest, I'm looking forward to getting to know her more. Yeah! I'm so caught up in my own thoughts that I hardly register that I'm already at the track. Emmy is nowhere to be found. Not even see any signs of the track team. This could be embarrassing. I turn my head and head towards the girls' dormitory when I hear a shout. Hey, Hisao! Oh. I turn around to Emmy making a beeline for me with a gym bag slung over her shoulder. She's changed into some decidedly more casual clothing, a pair of shorts and an olive green top. Her running blades have been replaced with more realistic looking legs that probably wouldn't fool anyone. Emmy doesn't seem to care about that, the fact that which makes me smile. Hey, you came! I mean, I figured you would, but still. I suddenly find myself wrapped in a rather affectionate hug, and it proves to be impossible for me to keep what must be the world's largest grin off my face. Well, of course I came. I'd be crazy not to, right? Emmy ponders for a moment. You know, that's true. I mean, I'm pretty amazing after all. I shrug in response. I certainly think so. It's an offhand remark, which is why I'm surprised to see that it seems to have caught Emmy by surprise. She blushes and smiles warmly at me before planting a kiss on my lips. Now it's my turn to be surprised. Emmy steps back, resting her weight on her back heel, looking pleased with herself. My brain fumbles for an appropriate response. I should compliment you more often. Emmy laughs and gives me a playful shove. Jerk. I throw an arm around Emmy's shoulder and pleased when she immediately leans into me as if it were the most natural thing in the world. So, where to? I'm not actually sure. Where do people go on dates around here anyway? That's a damned good question. I've got no idea. Why don't we just head down to Oramart and grab something portable? Emmy's face brightens at this idea. A picnic! I think you're on to something, Hisao. Emmy snakes her arm around my waist and we begin to head for the front gate. I'm entirely unsure of what I'm meant to do in this situation, but at least Emmy seems to be equally clueless. Despite the relaxing feeling of being with Emmy, I still can't help feeling a little tense. What if I do something wrong? I'd hate to... don't overthink this stuff, because then it'll happen. I'd hate to make an ass out of myself. The trip to Oramart is accompanied by Emmy's chatter about how practice went. I keep quiet for the most part, merely enjoying the warmth of being around Emmy. We get a few odd looks from passerbys, but I don't mind. We wind up buying some bread and instant noodles, realizing too late that we cannot actually cook the latter in the park. Oh well, I'll make it for lunch or something. That'll work. The park is located after a brief loss of direction that I blamed entirely on Emmy. She, of course, blames me. We find a spot beneath the tree and sit down. I lean back against the trunk. Emmy sits across from me. I guess we should have brought a blanket or something to sit on, huh? Emmy shrugs. I don't mind. Neither do I. Emmy tosses me a package of bread and we dig in. Curry bread. Interesting. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to what I grabbed in the store. Hey, Sao. You look like your bread's a little spicy. I shake my head, trying in vain to keep an image of manliness. Nah, it's hardly spicy at all. I see. That must be why your face has gotten so red. Yes, exactly. The lack of spice has gotten my blood up. Because of the disappointment. Emmy laughs and swallows the last of her bread. Well, if you can't handle it, I'll be glad to take it off your hands. Hey, just because you wolfed down yours so quickly doesn't mean I'm going to give you mine. Emmy mock pouts, causing me to nearly choke on my bread with laughter. Aw, come on, Hisao. Aren't you supposed to be concerned with making sure I've gotten enough to eat now? We're dating, you know. though. Emmy looks troubled all of a sudden. I can't say I feel any different. What do you mean by that? What makes this a date? It's just what we would have done anyway, really. This should feel different before when we had lunch we were friends. Now we're a level above friends. You sound like Rin. Laughter escapes and Emmy grins. Well, she might have put the thought into my mind. We've talked about that sort of thing before. Really, about me. Not really, just stuff, really. Rin thinks that the change of a label from friend to girlfriend seems arbitrary most of the time. Like there's no difference between the two. I can think of at least one, you know. You don't tend to kiss your friends quite as much. For the second time that day, Emmy blushes slightly and giggles. I suppose you're right. Exactly. I'm always right about things like this. Emmy rolls her eyes and chuckles. Guess you're pretty smart, huh? I nod in agreement. Yep. Even Matao thinks so. He thinks I should go into some scientific study after graduation. Emmy raises an eyebrow. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm thinking I actually might do just that. Really, the more I consider the idea, the more it appeals to me. Make a mental note to look into it a little more closely. So, what are you thinking about doing after graduation? Still planning on running? Emmy shrugs, seeming almost a bit hesitant. I don't know if I'm good enough and I can find a team, I guess. You mean you aren't sure? I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Really? You probably should, you know. Graduation isn't that far off. Emmy fidgets a little nervously. Yeah, well, it's far enough, alright? Besides, I've got other things to think about. There's a mischievous flash behind Emmy's eyes, and I silence by myself gloriously pinned against the tree. Like making sure this is a real date, right? I mean, if we don't kiss, then it's not a date at all, right? I suppose so. Strawberries and curry. Not the best combination, but I don't think I mind. Emmy sinks back on my legs and grins again. There, science would approve, right? I have the oddest mental images of Matao nodding seriously, making a mark on some checklist. I can't help laughing at the idea. Well, I'll admit, this is the first time I've ever witnessed a kiss met with laughter before. Should I feel offended? No. I'm sure science approves. Emmy beams at me, and I find it incredibly difficult to keep my brain functioning properly. Oh, good. At this point, I notice that Emmy has stolen the remainder of my curry bread while I was otherwise occupied with images of teachers wielding clipboards. Hey! Emmy tries to look innocent, but considering she's just crammed the last bits of my bread into her mouth, it does not appear to be working.